Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of the Quarantine Sessions, where I chat to people a lot cooler than myself in this wonderful land of lockdown. I guess it's still kind of lockdown. I don't know what the situation is like over your guys' way, but I don't think many people are taking it all that seriously over here anymore, but...
Yeah, Melbourne's the only city in Australia that's still completely locked down. And we are in stage 4, so it means we're not even allowed to travel 5 kilometres from our house.
Oh my God, that's why they've confined you to a van, like they've quarantined you in a van.
And masks are mandatory, so there's the mask. We're not allowed to no more than 2 people shopping in the same shop at the same time. It's crazy. It's a crazy time here in Melbourne.
My guests this week are a punk rock band that take inspiration from a plethora of different influences to create a sound all of their own, crafting introspective songs that tug at your heartstrings as easily as they get your head banging. They're also one of the few acts today that I'd happily wake up before 6 a.m. to speak to, because time difference is fun. Anyway, it is my pleasure to introduce Brenton and Bryce from Melbourne's own Catholic Guild.
Once you reach that point of over the hill, are you making friends or putting a novice for your funeral? At this stage, mine's gonna be an exclusive event. The grudges that you hold through your 20s are gonna be harder to break in your 30s.
G'day everyone.
That is the perfect Australian intro that I was hoping for. How are you guys doing in these gorgeously strange times that we live in?
Yeah. We're living, surviving, doing well. Yeah.
That's the best you can hope for, really.
But
Brenton, I would say we're doing well, man. I would say we're doing well. I mean, despite the fact that we haven't been in the same room for 3 months, we're doing very well as people and as a band. So we can't really ask for anything more than what we have at the moment, given the circumstances.
Absolutely.
A lot of positive mental energy going between us at the moment, and we're just trying to be as creative as possible. So that's good.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's the thing. Speaking to creative people in lockdown, it's amazing to see how people have used the time. Otherwise, I mean, a lot of people would be forgiven for just sort of taking a few months off, because what else can you do? But seeing what people can do with limitations and restrictions imposed on them, whether they be physical, financial, emotional, whatever, it's still incredible to see what people create. And we'll get to the EP that you have released in the midst of a lockdown in just a bit. But for the unfortunate few that may not have heard of you in the past, could you please, in your own words, just introduce Catholic Guild?
Brenton?
All right, sure, I will. All right, so yeah, Catholic Guild is a punk rock band from Melbourne, Australia. We've been around for about 2.5 years, and we have 2 EPs, Hymn Book Volume 1 and This Is What Honesty Sounds Like. We are a 5-piece band, and we draw from a whole variety of influences to create a sound that I would describe as harsh truth served up with a side of hope.
There you go. I mean, I'd definitely order that at a restaurant. But speaking of food, because I always like to ask the hard-hitting questions to get to know my new friends just that little bit better. And that is, if you were a type of sandwich, what type of sandwich would you say best represents you and perhaps the band?
This is Bryce's choice. Go for it.
I've been asked to come up with this because Brenton can't eat bread. So
okay.
We would be but that's the thing, that I took that into consideration when coming up with this answer. We would be a vegan pulled pork sandwich on gluten-free sourdough.
That sounds good. So you're talking like that jackfruit pulled pork stuff? Jackfruit
vegan pulled pork, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because we have vegetarians and vegans in the band. Like I'm not personally, but I want to consider everyone's taste.
That's it. And I mean, that way, much like Catholic Guild, you have got that mixture of inspirations to create something pretty tasty. Anyway.
To mention, it is hipster as hell, which is perfect for a Melburnian.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Melbourne. I've never been to Australia. I really do need to visit.
It's basically the hipster capital of Australia and one of the hipster capitals of the world. So
that would suit me down to a T. A lot of people would say that about me, whether that be a compliment or a derogatory use of the term. But anyway, I wear it as a badge of honor. Now, your new EP, as you said, This Is What Honesty Sounds Like, has been out. Well, by the time this will go out, it'll be out for just over a week. For people who haven't checked it out yet, what can they expect from this release?
I can talk a little bit musically. You can expect 5 very different songs that sound like they could be played by 5 very different bands, but somehow we managed to make it sound like one cohesive CD. So you get a bit of pop punk, you get a bit of blues and country, you get a little bit of folk, and then you get a bit of a ballad. So it's a good time all around.
Good time.
Lyrically speaking, I would say you get 5 different human emotions expressed in the most honest way we could, and the way that we thought best suited that particular emotion each time. Hence all the genre hopping.
Very cool. Very cool. And Brenton, you said, I was reading an interview before we jumped on the call where you said that the whole idea of Catholic guilt came from a place of catharsis and almost a form of therapy for yourself personally. Would you say even with the new release, as you've sort of developed as a band, there's still that element of like a catharsis and a release to sort of express these emotions onto pen and paper and then through into song? Is that sense still there with the band?
Definitely. All of these songs come from a very honest and truthful place. They come from my own personal experiences or the band's combined experiences filtered through my writer's voice. And it's very much still a process of us as a band trying to work through the process of growing up and the many complications that are presented to you in that process. So, yeah, I'd say definitely still a cathartic thing for me.
Perfect.
We've been sort of saying it's cathartic since the beginning, and what kind of started that phrasing or the idea of catharsis on this thing was when Brenton and I started the project. We were really starting to burn out with music a little bit. We couldn't quite find people who thought the way we did or wanted to play things the way we did until we kind of ran into each other. And then that was, the band was born out of catharsis because we were finally able to commit to something together that we were both, getting what we needed from. So, yeah.
Awesome.
If that makes sense.
It does.
I feel like a blab.
No. Yeah, sometimes it is that thing where you just need sort of the right melding of minds at the right time, and yeah, it can sort of either take you out of a creative rut or it can give you this outlet to create something that either surprises yourself and surprises everyone else. And I would say that is always the best art, is the stuff that surprises both you internally and then sort of people externally as well. But speaking of surprises, because I am the king of segues and I planned this in advance, I promise I didn't. You didn't just release an EP to coincide with the music. You released a bloody platformer video game to go along with this as well, which I think is the first time I've ever heard of something like this. But obviously we cover a lot of stuff on this channel, so this is absolutely perfect for us. Tell us a little bit about Friend Finder.
Yeah, this is my baby, so I'm talking about it. So basically I was playing Sega, and I was playing Alice Kid in Miracle World, and I'm like, man, I love old school platformers. And I was thinking about the fact that we had this challenge of having an EP coming up and not having any way of playing shows to support it. And I'm like, I wonder if I could make a platformer video game based on the single and have people play it as a way of engaging with their fans. Now, instead of forgetting about it, I actually managed to make it happen. And that's what you have.
Props, because when the idea was first floated, I was like, "Oh, that's not going to happen." But then it happened. So all credit for that little project goes to Brenton. It was absolutely amazing.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, I tried to play it last night, and you definitely captured the difficulty of old school platformer games. I think I saw that game over screen about maybe 24 times, but damn it, I kept playing it.
Yeah, so that was intentional. The difficulty is intentional. Basically, I wanted to really make it something that people would become not addicted to, but at least really invested in. And so with a little help from a programmer named Nyanko Games, managed to achieve that. For anyone who hasn't had a chance to play it yet, the general gist of the game is you play as our logo, Lucy Fur, and she's a little cat, and she has to go and find and free her friends from the cage of isolation and loneliness, which is, and you have to avoid cucumbers, dogs, and birds, which are the enemies.
So just going on the cucumbers, which is probably the part of that sentence that probably needs the least, the least significance. But anyway, is this from the sort of the idea that cats are afraid of cucumbers?
Yeah.
Because I've tried this with my cat out of, because I'm like, I want to see if this happens. He couldn't give a shit. He couldn't give a shit if I put a cucumber behind him.
I did the same thing, but I used a zucchini. So I was like, must really be cucumbers and not zucchinis.
Isn't the idea behind it like they think they're snakes or something? And or maybe it's because in the UK we just don't have snakes. Maybe the UK cats have just got wise to it. Like, who knows?
Possibly.
Who knows?
Possibly. I mean, maybe they are just smarter. I don't know.
I don't know. My cat is not smarter. I tell you that much for free. He'll do some of the stupidest stuff. But anyway, obviously you mentioned that no one can play live at the moment, basically everywhere in the world, unless your name is Smash Mouth for some reason. Who knew? But anyway, so what is like the live music scene in Australia? Obviously, you say your town is under complete lockdown, but have gigs started opening up at all anywhere?
Not really, like venues and small kind of. The short answer is no. Even where things have been opened up, there's still volume restrictions in venues. So although you've got maybe like a show with 20 people all sitting down, it's not what it was. So I would say no, because until we can all stand right up at the stage and sing along to the songs that we want to sing to, that's not a real gig as far as I'm concerned.
I fully agree. Excuse me. That's basically what it is over here. We've got a few places where you have to sit on a nice park bench and, you can't sing along because then you're spreading particles and everything. All just seems it's a little artificial to me. Don't think I'd enjoy it. But what songs are you most looking forward to playing live off the EP eventually when we can play live?
Now that everyone's heard it, A Boutique Affair, it's like we've been playing it a little bit live before it came out. The recorded version came out, and it's always gotten a good response there, but now people are actually going to know the words, so getting right back in and playing that and having people jump around and get a little bit crazy, that's the one I'm most looking forward to.
Absolutely. What about you, Brenton?
Probably the final song on the EP, Nothing, because it is kind of a combination of everything that I think our band does well, or at least what we're trying to do well. And I think the opportunity of pulling off that 3-part harmony section, the triple layered vocal that ends the song live, is going to be something that's going to be great fun to do live. Once we nail it, I mean, it'll be fun even if we don't.
That's it. Just own it either way. I mean, especially if you make it the last song, then just go out in a blaze of glory if something goes wrong. That's always the best way. And looking maybe even more further afield, more aspirational, if there was one place in the world that you could perform, if like money, logistics, everything was off the table, anything was possible, where would you like to play in the world?
That's a great question. I haven't thought about that. Brenton?
I'll answer while he thinks. For me, I would like to sell out Alexandria Palace if we're going crazy speak in the UK there. But if we're talking just countries in general, I'm very much looking forward to going over to play in the US when we play Fest in Florida next year. That's a bucket list item for me, playing that festival and playing with some of those bands. So that's something that we're able to achieve should COVID get under control.
Fingers crossed. Thinking about that now, even just playing Festival Hall here in Melbourne would be a pretty big goal for me if that could ever happen. other than that, I guess I just don't have a broad enough idea of big venues across the world. So I really can't comment.
Fair enough. I mean, if you guys do manage to get over to Alexandra Palace, then don't forget your boys here. We gotta have a drink and do this in person. But anyway, as I said before, here at UDS, we don't just talk about music. We talk about the breadth of pop culture. We talk movies, video games, comic books, whatever's cool. We'll have a chinwag about it. So with that in mind, obviously you have had one of your songs featured in a video game as of now. But if you could have one of your songs featured in something perhaps in a different project, either in a film that has already existed or a film that you would want to make, sort of like maybe by genre or something, or another video game or whatever it is. Basically, this is a long about way of me saying, if you could have a song featured in anything at all, what would it be?
All right, I'm going first. My answer is Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remake, the third one, when they do it.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
That would easily be my one. But if I'm trying to be obscure and to my town's namesake, a little bit of hipster, not that our music would ever suit any of his movies, but a Wes Anderson movie. I'd like to see us in one of those real weird color schemes and with us bopping along in the background. I think that would be fun.
Hell yeah. I mean,
that would be awesome.
If he does a movie about cats, then you got to get Lucifer.
Well, he did one about dogs, so
he did. I mean, I think he owes the feline community a one. He even did one about foxes. How do you go from foxes before cats?
Well, Fantastic Mr. Fox was already a property.
Roald Dahl, yeah, fair enough. And also, it's a fantastic film, so I won't begrudge him that much. But anyway, I could see that. And as you say, your style is so eclectic and diverse. You could probably write something to fit a Wes Anderson film. I can see it.
Yeah, maybe. We'll get a bit weird. We'll make Dean write some jazz chords and play those over and over again.
Yeah.
Just write something really dissonant and put it in like David Lynch or something like that as well. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, obviously no one can prepare for or plan for the rest of the year for whatever's left of it. It is, oh boy, it's been a roller coaster. But as best you can, what does the rest of 2020 have in store for you guys?
We've got a bit more social media content coming. We've got a couple of videos we're putting together for songs on the EP, just to kind of keep things going that way. Other than that, I'm just writing as many songs and as many ideas as I can possibly come up with, and then obviously handing them on to the boys to elevate into something bigger. And hopefully we're going to have an album's worth of material by the beginning of next year. And if we can do that, you'll be seeing a mid-year album release 2021. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. No slowing down then.
Yeah, no. And also, we just signed with a booking agency over here called Destroy All Lines. So we'll also be working behind the scenes to set up our touring schedule for 2021 once they get capacities over 5 people here in Melbourne.
I mean, if I tried to put a gig on with any of the bands I've played with, I think 5 people would be pretty good. But that's just me. That's just me. But yes, fingers crossed. And as I say, I really do hope you guys can come over to the UK sometime because, man, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. Oh, it's gone. I'm not going to say when. I'm not going to say if. I'm going to say when.
Cool.
It's definitely a when, not if scenario. Particularly considering we have an English drummer.
Yes.
James, our drummer, is English. It might be known to some of the people in the UK watching this as previously being the drummer of a band called Alone with Wolves, who were a metalcore band that did quite well for a while. So James is our drummer and pianist, and he's very keen to show us all that he has to offer in the UK. So we're very keen to go over there and let him.
Yeah, I mean, you got the tour guide built in, so let's make it happen. But as we sort of wrap up the conversation, I don't want it to end, but unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end. And one of the questions I always end with is, we are UDS, which stands for Upside Down Shark. No idea why we're Upside Down Shark. We're in way too deep to change it now. And, I've already paid for the logo. But anyway, with that in mind, what would be your favourite sharks? And they can be real, They can be fictional, they can be something from a movie or something from nature. But what would you say your favourite personal shark is?
I think Brenton and I might have the same answer on this because we grew up all around the same time, but definitely street sharks.
Yes.
Of course. I mean,
And if we're going to be...
yeah, I was going to say, what street shark?
I can't remember the name of the orca, but that guy.
Okay. I'll put it up on screen now.
That means technically he's not a shark, he's a whale.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, shark is a subjective term here. We've had Danny DeVito playing Penguin in Batman Returns as someone's favourite shark. So I don't know how we got there, but we play it fast and loose here.
That's amazing. I'm just going to go with whatever sharks are in the bay near my house.
Oh, yeah, of course, because you're in Australia where literally everything can kill you. So you have sharks in your water.
Yeah, exactly. We have, and there's blood in the water, according to Parkway Drive. So, yeah.
Of course. Oh, man, what a song. What a song. Oh, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Where can people find you online?
Spotify? Brenton, go.
Yeah, Spotify. The easiest way to find everything for the band is just to go to our official website, catholicguiltmusic.com. The easiest way to listen to This Is What Honesty Sounds Like is to find your preferred streaming outlet by going to catholicguiltmusic.com/listen.
There you go. As I said, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time today, and hopefully one day in future we can do this in person.
Deal. Sounds good.
Deal.
It's a plan. It's a plan.
It's definitely happening.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. And for anyone listening at home, make sure to listen to This Is What Honesty Sounds Like wherever you listen to good music. We'll put a link to everything that Brenton said in the description below, so it's nice and easy to find. Hit subscribe for more interviews with all sorts of creative folk, including Frank Turner, loads of other people that I can't think off the top of my head because I'm having a brain fart. And we shall see you next time. Goodbye.